Okay, great. We're recording.
Yeah.
So, we had been messaging each other and to try to narrow down what you wanted to work on. And you said you have this belief about getting help, or let me hear it in your words.
So it's the belief about not wanting to accept help because if I accept help, I might have to pay it back. I feel like I'm gonna owe somebody something, and also since childhood, I've been told that I have to only count on myself, so that I'm supposed to count on myself and not think that anybody else is going to come and help me, rescue me, take care of me.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so, how is this holding you back in life, or how is this idea that you can't ask for help, or that you don't want to accept help? How is that holding you back, and what areas do you find that that's no longer serving you?
I think in many areas. First, I'm a single mom, so I have not allowed my co-parent, the parent of my children, to provide support. I've been kind of making excuses, and whenever maybe I make one request, and if I don't see that it's answered appropriately or how I feel like it should be answered or quickly enough, I give it up, and it just justifies the story that I already created in my mind that, of course, he's not gonna support me, he's not gonna help me, so I'm here on my own. So that's on the my parenting side. And work as well, I don't like to bother. I don't like to ask for support because I feel that somebody's going to see it as a weakness.
Yeah.
But also that I'm going to owe them eventually. I'm going to have to help them. Or when they come to me in the future and I might not be ready to help them, that they are going to then say, hey, I helped you, so here you go.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yeah. Which one feels like the one that's really the strongest, most challenging, that if we could make a dent on that today, it would really, help you feel just better about everything?
I think mostly my home life, like it's with the parenting of my children.
Yep.
And also like taking care of the home by myself. Like it's all on me, just on me.
Okay. So think about one way that if you didn't have this problem, you would be able to reach out for support and accept support at home. Is there something that you can ask someone?
Well, I think maybe just be more proactive, or not only more firm in my requests, or follow up more on the request instead of just leaving it at the one request, and if it's not completed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I want you to think about one request that you really should be asking support for, that you haven't, or you haven't been firm on.
Okay. So recently, mostly the kids here at summertime, I need their parent, the other parent, to either pay for camp for 1 week or take them for at least a week and a half to take them with him.
Okay. So thinking about making that request, how do you feel right now?
It makes me scary but sad as well. I'm like, it's...
Okay, so which one is stronger, scary or sad?
Let's see. I would say sad more than anything. Yeah.
Okay. And so tell me why just thinking about making that request of him makes you feel sad.
It makes me feel sad that I have to make it. That it should be, obvious because I have stated it before. I've stated, but just once. Again, I didn't follow up on it. I said, hey, it will be good if you can take them for a week or more.
Great.
I need support, and
Great.
I didn't follow up. So it makes me sad that I have to say it.
Okay. And 0 to 10 on the sadness?
I will say it's like an 8.
Do you feel that anywhere in your body?
On like my belly.
Okay. All right. So let's start tapping. And if you want to change what I say in any way, or you'd like to say it in a different way, or it's not landing what I'm asking you to repeat, just let me know, jump in, interrupt me. I want to use your words as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So even though I feel all of this sadness in my belly,
even though I feel all the sadness in my belly,
just imagining making that request,
just imagining making that request,
that I have to ask it again,
that I have to ask it again,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this sadness in my belly,
even though I feel the sadness in my belly,
that I have to make that request again,
that I have to make that request again,
and I feel it in my belly,
and I feel it in my belly,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I know it would really help me.
I know that it will really help me.
To get him to either pay for a week.
To get him to at least pay for a week.
Or to take the kids.
Or take the kids.
And just imagining having to ask that again.
And just imagining to have to ask for that again.
I feel this sadness in my belly.
I feel the sadness in my belly.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. The sadness in my belly.
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 The sadness in my belly. Mm.
0 to 10, just thinking about that now.
I'm like on a 6.
Okay.
And it's moved to like my chest area.
Okay. And is it still sadness?
Yeah, still sadness.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Just thinking about making that request again.
Just thinking about making that request again.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Just thinking about making that request again.
Just thinking of making that request again.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
I know it would really help me.
I know it would really help me.
But just thinking about asking again.
But just thinking of asking again.
Makes me feel sad in my chest.
Makes me feel a sadness in my chest.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
The sadness in my chest.
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 All right, just thinking about making that request now. Sadness, 0 to 10.
I don't feel sad anymore. I feel if there's anything left, it's like a 3, not that much.
Okay.
And yeah,
if it's not sadness, then what is it?
I don't know if this is a feeling, but it's like complacency, like it is what it is, which has been kind of like my response to everything. Something is not provided when I ask. It's like how it is. It's kind
Okay.
of like this resignation, or this like resigned. Like,
Yeah. And so are we thinking more about when this has happened in the past?
Right now, I'm thinking. I think it's what's coming up is like just let it go, let it go. It's like, why? Don't feel sad about it. It is what it is, and I guess it is influenced from the past. But it's like, okay, the sadness came, left. Now there's kind of like, now what sits in is like, let it go.
Okay.
It's what it is. It's
Okay.
always been that way.
Okay. Okay. Let me hear you think about the time that you did ask for that. Was that recent that you asked?
Yeah,
Had that
that was at least 2 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah.
A week or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So thinking about that time you asked that, and what was his response that time that you asked?
I don't even think he said anything because it was through text, and I'm trying to remember what he said. He didn't say. He didn't respond. He didn't even respond.
Okay. Thinking about that you texted it. So there it is in a text, and there was no response. What's the emotion?
It makes me sad again.
Yes. 0 to 10 on the sadness now.
It's like a 7.
Okay. Do you feel that anywhere in your body?
Yeah, in my chest.
Okay. All right. Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Just thinking that I made that request by text.
Even though I made that thinking that I made that request by text.
And there was no answer.
And there was no answer.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
I made that request by text.
I made a request by text.
And there was no answer.
And there was no answer.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
Even though I feel the sadness in my chest.
I got no response.
I got no response.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
The sadness in my chest.
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 The sadness in my chest. I have to say that it's probably like a 5, and it's between my throat and my chest.
Okay. Is it still sadness?
Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm. Even though I feel the sadness.
Even though I feel the sadness.
Between my throat and my chest.
Between my throat and my chest.
Just thinking about that text.
Just thinking about that text.
I got no response.
I got no response.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness.
Even though I feel the sadness.
Between my chest and my throat.
Between my chest and my throat.
I got no response to my text.
I got no response to my text.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness.
Even though I feel the sadness.
Between my throat and my chest.
Between my throat and my chest.
I got no response to my text.
I got no response to my text.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
The sadness between my throat and my chest.
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 Okay.
I still feel a tinge of sadness, let's say like a 4.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I feel it behind my eyes.
Okay.
um,
And what part of it are you focusing on?
and that feeling alone.
Yes.
It's all on me. It's all
All
on
on
me again. It's all on me. It's all on me.
Okay. Even though
I
feel the sadness behind my eyes,
I feel the sadness behind my eyes.
makes me feel like I'm alone.
It makes me feel like I'm alone.
It's all on me.
It's all on me.
I didn't even get a reply.
I didn't even get a reply.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this tinge of sadness behind my eyes,
even though I feel this tinge of sadness behind my eyes,
makes me feel like I'm alone.
Makes me feel like I'm alone.
It's all on me.
It's all on me.
He didn't even reply.
He didn't even reply.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though it makes me feel alone,
even though it makes me feel alone,
it's all on me.
It's all on me.
This tinge of sadness behind my eyes.
This tinge of sadness behind my eyes.
He didn't even respond.
He didn't even respond.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. This sadness behind my eyes.
The sadness behind my eyes.
Makes me feel like I'm alone.
Makes me feel like I'm alone.
It's all on me.
It's all on me.
It's all on me.
It's all on me.
Makes me feel alone.
Makes me feel alone.
Didn't even reply.
Didn't even reply.
This sadness behind my eyes.
The sadness behind my eyes.
This sadness behind my eyes.
The sadness behind my eyes. I would say like a 3, and it's now on my throat. But just actually like a 2, 3.
Okay. So thinking about, you sent that text and there was no reply. It's sadness and it's in your throat and it's a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even though I feel this sadness in my throat.
Even though I feel the sadness in my throat.
Just thinking about that text.
Just thinking about that text.
There was no reply.
There was no reply.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness in my throat.
Even though I feel the sadness within my throat.
There was no reply.
There was no reply.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the sadness in my throat.
Even though I feel the sadness in my throat.
Just thinking about that text.
Thinking about that text.
There was no reply.
There was no reply.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
The sadness in my throat.
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 The sadness in my throat. I'm trying to think about the text.
Yeah.
And like reading it or not seeing it, like seeing an empty, no response. I'm not feeling anything.
All right. And just thinking that you're going to make that request again, how would you do it in a way that's a little more direct?
Yeah.
How would you make it more instead of just, a text that, doesn't get answered? What would be the next level of stepping it up, saying, okay, I want this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I need to call.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to make a phone call.
And thinking about making that phone call, how do you feel right now?
Makes me a little anxious just because my expectation is that it's going to be, I can't do it. Because immediately I go to either that he will say I can't do it, or that he'll say I am, or I'm going to try, and doesn't do anything. So I already try to anticipate what he's able to do.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So there's a feeling that making that phone call, just anxious because I have the expectation that he'll say, can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or make a promise that he is not going to say yes and then just not follow through again, which is what I'm used to.
Yes. And is there a time that stands out in your mind where that happened before that's maybe like stronger than this one, anticipating that call?
Well, just earlier in the summer, before they got out of school, he had said that he was going to take them back to his country and he started saying, I need to renew the passports. He was revving everything up, and even I had asked him if he can only take one instead both of them, and he was like, why not? And I need to take both of them, and then all this hoopla, and then when the time was getting close, the time that he said that he was going to take the trip with them, I contacted him and I said, hey, are you still planning to do this trip? And he basically said, no, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And it's like, so all this, and you, again, fell through again.
Okay. So thinking about that, what are you feeling right now?
Just like I'm disappointed again. Like it's just always what I'm always. So that and then it is always like, why try? I shouldn't try because I'm going to be disappointed. So why try?
Okay. So 0 to 10 on disappointment. Just thinking about that when you asked him, are you still planning this? Disappointment 0 to 10. Is you feeling it now?
It's like an 8.
Yeah. Do you feel that anywhere in your body?
It's like my chest and throat.
Okay. Okie dokie. Even though I feel all this disappointment.
I feel all this disappointment.
In my chest and throat. There was all this hoopla.
And
the time got close.
And when the time got close.
I said, are you still planning on taking them?
When I asked him if he was still planning on taking them.
He said, no, it's not going to happen.
He said, no, it's not going to happen.
I feel all this disappointment. Why even try? I deeply, completely accept myself. Even though I feel all this disappointment. In my chest and throat. He said, no, I don't think it's going to happen. Why even try? I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel all this disappointment. In my chest and throat. It was getting close to the time. And I asked him. He said, no, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
He said, no, he doesn't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I feel so disappointed. Why even try? I deeply, completely accept myself. Good. All this disappointment. 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 So thinking about that time earlier in the summer, 0 to 10 on the disappointment.
I'm like on a 5 right now.
Okay. Still in your chest and throat?
More like my belly now.
Okay. Still disappointment?
Yep.
Even though I feel this disappointment in my belly.
Even though I feel the disappointment in my belly.
I asked him. Is it still happening? And he said, no, it doesn't look like it is.
And he said, no, it doesn't look like it is.
And I feel all this disappointment in my belly.
And I feel all this disappointment in my belly.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
There was all this hoopla.
It was all this hoopla.
And then when a day gets close.
And then when the day gets close.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
And I feel all this disappointment.
And I feel all this disappointment.
Why even try?
Why even try?
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all this disappointment in my belly.
Even though I feel all this disappointment in my belly.
Just thinking about what he said.
Just thinking about what he said.
He made that statement that he was going to take them.
He made that statement that he was going to take them.
There was all this hoopla.
There was all this hoopla.
And then he says, no, it's not going to happen.
And then, as always, he says, no, it's not going to happen.
As always, he says, not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply, completely accept myself.
Good. All this disappointment in my belly.
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 Okay.
Yeah, I think I feel maybe like a 2, but not even too much.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. I would suggest to get that down to a 0, and I will tell you you can do that on your own. I'm wondering. You said that like always. This always happens. This is like the thing. And so, is it just been with him or with other people?
Well, I think it's mostly with him, but I think with other people, it might be that that I find that the story plays out in my head that yes, oh, of course, I'm expecting it for that person to disappoint me because that's really what it's supposed to happen. So it might be something that's not common on that person, or maybe it is common. And I get disappointed. Actually, I gotta say, I was in a recent relationship with someone, and I've been disappointed again. So I don't know if it has to do with males or just in general.
Okay.
So because I think I was hoping to feel like not alone and not disappointed, like that they will follow through.
Yes. And so that not following through happened in a recent relationship as well.
Yes. Okay.
And so if you think it's a pattern, do you know where this may have started?
I don't know. I think because I feel like my father I wasn't there. He's a very hard worker, so I couldn't see him all the time. But he was a kind of like stable in my home. He was always there, at least when I didn't see him, but I knew he was there. But I know that my mom always said to me, "Do not count on your spouse or on a relationship to save you, to help you," which is very ironic because my dad has always been there supporting my mom. Supporting her not only financially, but just being there. He's been there for more than 40 years. Yeah. So it's ironic because the message that I get from my mom, and I don't know if it's like she's saying it to make me strong and to help me face the world and not count on anybody, so I'm not disappointed. But her message is a constant of do not count on men, do not count on men, don't count on people in general, because you can only count on yourself. You can only count on yourself.
Okay. I want you to say, I can't count on other people. Mm-hmm. Say it aloud.
Mm-hmm. I can't count on other people.
I can't count on other people.
So can't, C-A-N-T,
Cannot.
I cannot count on other people. Yes, that's what
You're
I
0 to 100% true as you feel it in your bones, in your gut. What percentage is that true for you?
89%.
Yeah, 89%. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable with us trying to explore like earlier roots of this?
Yeah, not a problem.
All right. So I'm going to have you tap on your finger points.
Oh, okay. Right here?
On the side near the tip.
Okay, like this?
Yes, on the side of the index finger near the tip. On the side of the middle finger near the tip. On the side of the ring finger near the tip. On the side of the pinky near the tip. Then back to the side of the hand.
Okay.
All right, and you're going to do this over and over and over again. At some point, I'm going to have you tapping on your younger self. At that point, some people spontaneously go in the air and they're like imagining tapping on their younger self. Or you can tap on yourself on all the points. Or you can just imagine it in your mind while you keep tapping on your hand points. It doesn't really matter. And then at the end, I'm going to have you just place one hand on top of the other in the center of your chest. But we're going to do some matrix reimprinting. So with this process, you're going to be the observer. You're going to be the helper. You're not going to be the one feeling it. You're not going to be the one experiencing that situation. You're going to see your younger self, and we're going to go help her.
Okay.
So go ahead and start tapping on your finger points inside of hand. And you're going to keep doing that over and over and over again. And when it feels comfortable enough that you don't have to give it any thought, you can close your eyes if you want to. And I want you to think about that statement. I cannot count on other people. And do you feel that anywhere in your body?
I feel it like it's kind of like this from the neck to my belly. It's like this kind of pathway right in the middle.
Great. Okay. So I want you to tune into that pathway from your neck to your belly. And your body holds a lot of wisdom and information that your brain doesn't really have access to all the time. We're going to trust that your body is going to show us a memory connected with all of this. And all you have to do is focus on that energy showing up now in that pathway between your neck and your belly. And we're going to trust that your body's going to send us back to an event connected with this in some way. Even if you don't understand the connection, even if it just happened recently, doesn't matter. Whatever shows up is fine. And tell me when you get a flash or sense of something.
I can't see anything yet, but I keep getting a message of like 6, you're 6 years old, you're 6 years old, but I don't know what that means.
So I want you to imagine yourself at 6 years old. And tell me when you have a sense of yourself at 6 years old.
I kind of see myself, but it's not totally clear. Like I'm trying to picture myself because I'm trying to remember where I was at first grade, which will be 6 years old. Now I know where I was, or at least know in what country I was, because I think I wasn't in the United States for first grade, which is 6 years old. Okay.
So do you see that little 6-year-old in a school somewhere or somewhere else?
I just see myself with like my hair, like three knots, three like buns.
Okay. And so I want you to just focus on viewing that girl separate apart from you. You're just observing her. She's got the 3 buns. in her hair.
She has kind of like a little school uniform. It's not the one that that I was used to seeing growing up when I studied in the other country.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, those plaid little
Yeah.
skirts, but it's all, and then like a white little shirt with like the round neck.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Neckline.
Yeah.
And she's kind of sitting there, and her shoes, she looks pretty neat. Like pretty put to, like they have her really neat.
Right. And so do you still not picture her in a particular place?
I just see her sitting down in like on a couch or chair.
Okay.
Like in her place. Like it's like they put her on her, like what she needs to be there. She's just sitting there.
Okay.
And behaving or some sort, or she's just sitting there.
Okay. I want you to connect with her. Keep tapping on your finger points and side of hand. You're doing great with that. I want you to make a connection with her. So silently or aloud, just connect with her and say, hi, I'm you in the future. Just connect with her. Do you have a sense that she knows you're there?
Trying to see.
Just imagine yourself on the couch there, sitting next to her.
I feel like she still doesn't see me.
Okay. So I want you to just try to get her attention in some way that makes sense for you.
I'm trying to sit next to her and kind of get her attention, like say, hi, how are you? But she's still kind of in like I have to sit still mode.
She has to sit still?
Kind of like it's like she has to sit in that couch all neat and not ruin anything. So, like I guess just stay put.
Okay.
And so I think she's afraid to even talk or do anything.
Great. So I want you to just imagine yourself sitting next to her and you're tapping on yourself. Okay? And you're tapping on the side of your hand now. And we're going to say, even though you have to sit still.
Even though you have to sit still.
I'm here to help you.
I'm here to help you.
You're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
Even though you have to sit still.
Even though you have to sit still.
And I should have asked, does she speak English?
She speaks, I'm trying to think of what she understood at that time, because school was all in Spanish at that time.
So let's do it in Spanish.
Okay.
So if you want to translate, you can do it silently. I'll say it in English. You can translate in Spanish in your head, however it works for you. All right. So even though you have to sit still, I'm here with you. You're going to be okay. All right. Go ahead and tap on the rest of your points as you're sitting there on the couch next to her. And we're going to say again in Spanish, you have to sit still. 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 Good. Okay. So keep tapping on your finger points inside of hand and just check on her now and see if she's coming around to being able to connect with you.
I kind of see her putting her face in her hands.
Okay. So I want you to just tell her that everything is frozen. No one is coming in here and that no one's going to interrupt you. It's just you and her. No one else can see this, just you and her. And say that in Spanish. And what's happening?
She's giving me a hug.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay.
She wants me to get, she wants to get on my lap.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right. So have her there on your lap and ask her, again in Spanish, in your mind is fine. Ask her, what's going on here? What's happening? And then when she tells you, relay that back to me.
Okay. She said, I'm scared of the man that comes through the door.
Okay. And can she say a little bit more about why she's scared of that man?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It seems like more like he's scary. He scares me at night.
Yeah.
He scares me at night.
At night?
I'm trying to, yeah, she says, oh, he comes through the door and he scares me. It seems like, let's see. Like he comes through the door, I guess, at night, and it's scary to see him,
Okay.
or that he's like next to the bed or close to the bed. I'm trying to think. Yeah, was I sleeping by myself at 6? Probably. I think I had a room by myself. I'm trying to think.
Okay. So is this person someone that she encounters at school, or someone she encounters at home, or someone that she has dreams about that she knows somewhere else, and just try to get a little bit more clarity about what's happening here?
It seems that he comes to her room.
Comes to her room?
Mm-hmm. I think he comes to her room.
Okay. And does this man look familiar to you?
I can't see him.
Okay.
I just see like a black silhouette. Like just, I can't see the color of his skin. I can't see his features. I know is a male.
Okay.
It's a male presence, and it's tall. It looks,
Okay. So I want you to make sure that that man is not in the room now, or frozen, or there's something that you can help her change about it so that she's not confronted with him right now. How's she doing?
She's just kind of like trying to figure out what this guy is about. What I'm trying to say is like, I'm gonna try to make him not come back, or come in the room again. Like, what can we do to not get him so you don't feel scared in the room?
Okay. So do you have a sense that this is her room?
Yeah, I can.
Because you mentioned the bed.
I mentioned the bed.
You mentioned a bed.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was a couch, but you mentioned a bed. Is there a bed there?
In her relating him coming in the room, like I see her in the bed.
Okay.
I saw, for instance, at one point her in the bed, but like in a great distance between the door and the bed, and then him coming in and kind of standing next to the bed.
Okay.
Or sitting next to the bed, and like her feeling like, oh, there he is. He's there. He's next to me.
Okay. And so I want you to just move him away from the room and ask her how she feels about that man, and just confirm that she said scared, but I just want to make sure that's what she feels.
She's covering her face again. Like, I don't want to see it.
Okay.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Great. So I want you to take her little hand and I want you to tap on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to say in your mind in Spanish, so even though you're feeling scared, I'm here to help you. You're going to be okay. Even though you're feeling scared, I'm here to help you. You're going to be okay. Even though you're feeling scared, I'm here to help you.
I'm here to help you.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Good. Tap on her points. Feeling scared. Feeling scared.
Feeling scared.
Feeling scared. Feeling scared. Feeling scared. Feeling scared. Feeling scared. Feeling scared. Okay. Go back to just tapping on your finger points inside of hand and check on her and see how she's feeling now.
So she's not, her face is not inside her hands. She's sitting up. She's sitting up on my lap still. But she's kind of doubtful. Should I trust this? I'm not sure. You know, like, you're not here. You're not going to be here at night or whenever he shows up. How can I trust that this thing is really going to not happen anymore?
Okay, so we're not telling her it's not going to happen anymore. We're telling her that right here in this moment, she's safe with you. Is she listening to you?
She looks like she's thinking, like kind of like in her, like contemplating.
Yeah. Can you ask her what this has to do with not being able to count on people?
I hear something. She says something like, "People can hurt you."
Okay. And from your higher self and all the ways you've grown and evolved since you were 6 years old, what would you like to tell this little girl that's thinking that people can hurt you?
What I can think of is saying, yes, people could hurt you, but that doesn't mean that you have to take yourself out of the game. You just gotta keep on going. I mean, you can't live life just being afraid of being hurt,
Mm-hmm.
or the potential of being hurt.
Mm-hmm. And are there people that can also help you?
help her.
So the belief is people can hurt you, but does it seem appropriate to also share with her? Yes, and there are people that can help you.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. She's like, really?
Okay. And so, is there anyone in her life that that she can count on that is helpful to her? Who is helpful?
Mm. It's interesting. I'm asking her, and she says, "My dad, although he doesn't say much, but he's there.
Right.
Like he's there.
Right. Okay.
Like he doesn't. I guess she doesn't feel like he. I guess she hasn't been disappointed by him yet, or doesn't feel scared or hurt, or hasn't felt hurt, at least at that time, by him.
Yeah. So would she like to see her father now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
So
bring.
he came.
Okay.
She jumped into his arms.
Great.
And he's carrying her.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because her feet are like dangling.
Yes.
And he looks very 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
With his mustache.
And yeah. Great. So right there in that moment, does she feel safe? Ask her.
Oh, she's like, absolutely.
Excellent. Does that show up anywhere in her body?
She is just kind of, she's saying like, I feel like I can let go, like I can release, like so it's not like she feels, she's almost like limp on him, like even the arms are dangling behind in his back.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a limp type of
yes.
The way that she is.
Yes. Okay, great.
And he's kind of patting her on the back.
Excellent. All right. So I want you to put one hand on top of the other in the center of your chest. Mm-hmm. And I want you to bring that positive image of that girl being really held by her father and feeling so safe that she can just totally and completely relax and dangle there while he's holding her. And bring that positive image in through the top of your head. Send those positive images and feelings down to all the cells of your body, from the top of your head down to your toes. Bring all of that into your heart center. Have it grow, expand, and intensify. If you see any color or light, make it brighter and stronger. And then exhale that out through your heart, sending it 360 degrees in every direction. You can take your time, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
All right, let me clear my face.
Okay. All right. So I want you to close your eyes and check in on the girl that we first found when we went in there. Mm-hmm. And tell me what's changed. As you're looking at her now, what's changed?
I'm trying to see.
Sometimes you can't even see the old one, you only see the new one. So what do you see?
I see her back in the couch, but she's moving around in the couch. She's not as stiff.
Great.
And she looks like she's kind of like, you know,
Great.
sitting on the couch, but it's not as stiff. She's able to move.
Great.
Feels more comfortable on the couch.
Great.
She, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how much we got this directly, but I want you to say, I cannot count on other people.
I cannot count on other people.
And how strong is that now?
I will say less than 50. And I think it has to do with more like I'm still riding that wave of the emotions.
Yeah.
So they come up and then now they're starting to go down. I think
Okay.
But I probably need to tap on I can't count on people.
Right. But that comes from experiences that you've had. Mm-hmm. I'm going to send you a handout that's going to reinforce the positive thing that we just did. Mm-hmm. But I also want you to think about, you know, you said my dad had not disappointed me at that point. So to me, there's like times where he did disappoint you.
I have to explore that because I can't think of it right now.
Okay. But if there are any, definitely that's worthwhile to tap on. This here was the one person that came up immediately like, yeah. And then you said that line. So I would say that's something to explore. And other times that you can think of, especially with men and past relationships where they did let you down, is important to tap on. And so right now, though, in this situation, thinking about calling your co-parent and saying, okay, this is what I need. Thinking about doing that, how does that phone call feel right now?
It feels totally okay. And if whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. I don't feel anxious about it. I was just like, oh, at least I did it. It's more like kind of like, just gotta do this.
Okay.
Just do it.
Okay. And so a phone call, you're gonna be direct and like you can't just flake out and not answer your text.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So some things to tap on, some things to explore, the possibility that there's more there. If you uncover something while because you know, who knows what happened with this man. But sometimes this is just like the doors opening up for you to explore other things. If real big things come up as a result of that exploration, then, you know, please work with someone else.
Okay. No problem.